life is all about observation, and it's all about challenging what we think we know and looking at things in new ways. And by doing that, we are able to get ourselves in this hyper creative state, you know. And I believe very strongly that we all have that within us, and we can learn to deliver it. We can learn to think in new ways, but we have to practice.
It seems to me that the traveling helps you with all of that, like thinking new ways. Do you think you have a wider vision just because you have seen so much and lived through so much?
Okay, so what is so incredibly at the basis of my life is to see places with what I would call fresh eyes, you know. So what gets me incredibly excited is to go to a new place, and like we're sitting here in Cape Town, in the vineyards of Cape Town, and I love it because I don't come here very often, but I see it in a way that local people wouldn't see it. I see the magic of the place. I see the potential. I see just tiny things, from the butterflies to the clouds and the sky. But at the same time, I know when I go back to my own house, which is in Casablanca in Morocco, I will see that with fresh eyes as well. So one of the great things about travel, which I'm so passionate about, I'm so passionate about travel, but one of the greatest things about travel is returning to your own home and looking at it in a new way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. How about enthusiasm? When you're not feeling that way and you're feeling down, because we all go through these moments, how do you shift, like how do you do the shift from sadness back into enthusiasm? Like,
look, I'm one of the most enthusiastic people I've ever met. My whole life, I have blood in my veins, but I also have enthusiasm as a separate bloodstream. I get incredibly enthusiastic, whether it's, about being in a new country or eating a new flavor of ice cream. I can't talk about it enough and get excited enough. I'm just like wild, like a child with it. But the dark side of being so enthusiastic is you get very, very down sometimes. And I think we all do. And particularly, in the winter and it's raining and there's no light and you're miserable. And what I've learned to do is I've learned to work out a technique for myself which re-energizes me with enthusiasm. And there are a few things that I use. For example, there's some opera music that I love. This guy who sings opera, a blind opera singer. And there's one song that I'll put on and it just clicks me back on track. Because when we're down, we're like a railway engine that is off the tracks. We need to get back onto the track and keep moving forward without thinking too much about it. And the other thing, what I do for enthusiasm is I'll do something that makes me feel good inside. I'll give some money to a guy on the street, or I'll clean my bathroom sink, beautifully. I'll just do a micro thing.
You also mentioned to me that you prefer to be hanging out with people that are like you and are enthusiastic as well.
What I'll tell you is, look, quite often I do journeys into the jungle or the desert or whatever. I do these long journeys. And I have to put together a team. And I have to get a team of, if we're making a film, filmmakers and porters and experts in navigation and stuff. And the one quality I look for, the only quality I look for, is enthusiasm. Because I can teach you how to climb a mountain or to whitewater raft or to live on terrible food. But what I want is, I want to be surrounded by people who will pull me up. And I really advise everyone, choose the people around you. Choose your friends. If they're not enthusiastic enough, ditch them. Get new friends, Really, really select the people who you allow to influence your life. It's an extraordinarily important thing, in my view.
And what do you think about the people that have multiple interests and love different things and want to do different stuff every time.
So I look at my life, at my role models, and the people I've been inspired by, incredibly inspired by, are all polymaths. And a polymath is someone who has mastered various subjects, you know. Same with Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci, or more recently the British Victorian explorer Richard Burton, who was maybe my greatest hero of all. So, and these people taught me that you can take an idea like from biology, and you can or from geography, and you can cross-fertilize it. You can take that solution and you can apply it in some completely other area of life and expertise. And because of the way we're programmed to think, we're problem-solving machines. We're just humans. And what we can do is we can learn to solve all kinds of problems that we often don't realize exist by cross-fertilization of problem-solving. And it's the most obvious thing, but in our own Occidental society, it hardly exists at all.
So what would you say to someone who is really lost about their passions and what they really want to do, if they don't know? What would you say?
If I was lost and I didn't know what to do, firstly, I would buy an aeroplane ticket or a bus ticket or or get a sign and hitchhike. And I would get at least, I don't know, a day away from your problems, 50 miles, 50 kilometers, you know, get
or
away.
15 countries.
Or just somewhere, even if it's across the street, if you can't afford the bus ticket. Get away from your problems. Isolate your problems. Wrap them up in your head in brown paper and park them on a shelf. And that will free you up to actually conjure a whole new way of thinking. But what most people do is they get themselves into this cycle. It's like a snowball going down a mountain, you know. They get themselves into this cycle where they can't see anything. They can only see darkness. They can't see how to make good. And my other advice to anyone, if you're completely lost and you don't know what to do, you know, what I would do is either go to a library and pick out the first book you see and read it. And I came up with ideas and plots for books, and I found myself, you know, firing on all cylinders, alive, excited, enthusiastic.
All right. Well, am I good enough to hang out?
Barely. All right.
Shut up.
She's fabulous. She's a nutcase, but she's fabulous.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to show everybody this. Say hi to Brazil. You love them.
Tudo bem? I love you. Beijo, beijo. Mwah. I love Brazil.
All right. Let me show you guys the scenery a little bit of the view that we see over here.
And show them the sky. This is Africa, the African sky, even bigger than the Brazilian sky.
African sky, man.
Okay.
All right, everyone.
From Cape Town.
Tchau, gente.
Tchau.
Beijo. Até o próximo vídeo.